कोई दिक्कत थोड़ा है।
चलो ठीक है सर, फिर मैं भाई चेक को जमा कराने की कोशिश करता हूँ। आप एक बार अकाउंट नंबर फिर से भेज दोगे सर मेरे को?
हाँ रुक जाओ 1-2 दिन, फिर मैं बताता हूँ।
हाँ जैसे भी हो मेरे को आप व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज डाल देना सर, ठीक है?
Yes, we will have a today wonderful session that summarizes the entire Eastern wisdom. So you have to pay a lot of attention on that. And you have to contemplate and reflect on this topic today, at least maybe 50 times, so that it settles into the mind. And if you can do it, you will see the result. And it is so simple. It is so simple. Topic obviously is Ananda. Ananda means permanent happiness or means infinite happiness. Infinite happiness. Can you get infinite happiness by eating any food? By sex? By possessing anything, any object? It is not permanent. It is not infinite. It doesn't continue. But behind that, there is a question that is very important. And what is the question? Because there is an inner urge that I should continue to exist. I should never stop existing, for which I build my ego and I fight, I react. But it is totally different. Let me never stop existing. This is what the master is saying in his book. But we will understand first from a very common sense point of view, so that you are very clear how the Eastern wisdom is discovered, or you can say validated, or you can also say that how the Eastern wisdom started. So there is a secret behind it. So let us close your eyes. Mangalacharan Sarve Namah Shri Shankarananda. With all humility, master of this text is saluting Shankarananda, his own master. And that master is ignorance to knowledge, knowledge of the real self. Means I have to move from the ignorance to the wisdom. It is present in the mind. Yes, it is beginning is good that we do namaste at the external level by folding our hands, but what is more important, to remain in that state of humility all the time, the moment you wake up until you retire to the bed. That means there is no problem with the partner, there is no problem with the friends, there is no problem at all. Guru Padam Bhujajanmani, to the lotus feet of the Guru. Why? Acknowledging the source of inner guidance. We acknowledge the source of inner guidance comes, opens, awakens by the representative outside. That representative outside is the external Guru. Why? To have a right perception of the reality. But why? Because it is hidden by the delusion and ignorance. And then what is that ignorance? The crocodile of ignorance, Savilas Mahamoha. Savilas Mahamoha. Graha Grasaik Karmane. Where is the knowledge of the teacher or guru? Or you can say, Guru plus Eastern wisdom, or simply you say Eastern wisdom. What is the goal? Goal is to devour. Goal of a teacher is to devour, eat the crocodile of delusion, and then what is left? What is left is what is I am. What is I am? What is I am? Our modern society and the modern age always wants to try to become something new. We don't want to become something new. I become husband, I become wife, I become good, I become bad, etc., etc., I become rich, etc. No, we say, what is me? Let me find out. But in order to do that, we don't need the false I and the ego. That is the message. So just check, bring attention to the body. The silent method, we did it last time. We will follow that. Silent, still the mind, bring attention to the body, means place, position, and posture. You just follow this. There are other ways of doing it, but why don't we repeat it again and again so that we are settled into it? And once you are perfectly settled, you can think of using a different tool. But these are the basics: place, position, and posture. Why? Somatic awareness. Then sensation, comfort, and steadiness, you already know. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness, you already know. Means changing the direction. Then you move later. Yeah, you move to the next step is being carefree observer, and observe means the moment you, so simple, the moment you come to my house, you start noticing how the objects are arranged. You don't talk about it. You have not come to my house for that. But still, mind pays attention to that. See that? Oh, so then we come to the invoke the inner presence. Invoke the inner presence means here, in the silent acronym, that you want to see what is behind the false I, anxiety, duality, roles, and events in my life. There is a one presence. There is a presence. Presence of the I am. So that is the presence of the I am. Or you can simply say, this is the observer and the observed. Simplify it. Yes, I'm observer, and the observer does not change, and that is I am. And then what is observed? Yesterday I had something. For example, yesterday I had something with my partner. The false I took over, but that is only observed. That is not real me. Once you are settled there, you are free. And if you are not settled, you continue to haunt that the same thought. That will make you crazy. And then once you have the twofold awareness of observer and observed, then you let go. SIL. You let go of those thoughts which still causes the delusion. You let go of the thoughts, feeling, and emotion. It is very difficult and it is very easy. So we have to repeat it. Let go of the thought, feelings, and emotions of anxiety, of reaction, what happened in the past, what happened in the past. It comes in many forms. It comes in many forms, and they are all the delusion. Let go. So any thought that comes uninvited, it has some element of delusion. Let go, let go, let's go, let it go, let it go, let it go. So when you say let it go, who is saying it? You. Who is you? Observer. So you continue to live in the present moment. So you find a new awareness. So you embrace the present moment. Silent. S-I-L-E. Embrace the present moment. Oh, so it means if I am, now you see, I'm giving you a tool, a thought to keep in your head all the time. So if I am the observer, then only I'm living in the present moment. Just check it, reflect on it. But if I become the observed, I lose that. When you lose that, then you say you are angry and you say, then I'm living in a present moment. Oh, do you see that? And then you destroy it. That is the problem. The modern people, they just want an instant result. So now you got it. You got it now, and latter means you nurture that inner peace because you embrace the present. You are already in peace. So you embrace the present moment. You nurture the inner peace. Gently return to the sense of the observer through breath awareness. Or use the breath awareness. So now you see that how at a higher level, the three-pointed attention on the breath, three-point attention on the breath is done to nurture. Either you can say nurture the present moment, or you can say nurture the peace. Nurture the peace or embrace the present moment. So it means I am aware something beyond the breath, behind the breath, who is the knower of the three-point attention of the breath. I believe you all are getting it. We all have become reached to the state of maturity, mental maturity. That topic I am taking up in the Ukrainian session. So you see, all are together, and now the letter T, teach the mind. What you teach the mind? You teach the mind to discernment and dispassion. From what? From where I'm attached, from I'm deluded. I have a role. I am busy, I'm into anxiety, I've reacted. My partner did say, oh, lot of less, Viveka, free. Freedom, silent freedom. Freedom. That is the point of awareness we need, not only during the practice every day, but all the time. So how can you remember the silent act? In the beginning it will appear challenging, but gradually you start living into that state. And I can bet you say, for example, you have in pain in the body and you become aware, observer mode, embrace the present moment, you nurture the peace, and you will see. I'm not saying the pain will completely go away, but you will see the pain is too far from you. And open your eyes. Now is the time to assess and audit our life. We follow the Cell Sahasra movement here. And two things I have been repeating, I'm still repeating: emotion, attitude, behavior and conduct. I become aware of inside. Means I am angry inside, but it is yet to be expressed in thought, speech, and action outside. So the second external level is thought, speech, and action. So I follow these two lines and check how many times it happened during the day. You said honey, and the honey said you something, and then you are out of the mind. Now your attitude is full of anger, but you can't say anything. And now you are suffering. So let us start sharing your experiences since our last session. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. Yeah, very good. The after the session on Thursday, there's lots of things going on, business and personal, and I just sort of let it all flow. I just let things kind of just roll along and kind of, be with it, but be present in the conversation, be aware. The one thing you just said that I really love is looking what's beyond the breath. And that, as soon as you said that, I just all of a sudden just went clunk, went deep within. So I think I'm going to be focusing on the breath a little bit more just to get that real perspective. So thank you.
Yeah. I experience stress, I experience reaction, I experience ego, I experience anxiety. It is all observed. And observed is not me. So who is the knower of all this? I. And this I is not affected. So I embrace the present moment. Either you do it with the breath or you do it with just understanding. It works. Sometimes I say myself, I say, thank you, mind. At least, you felt reaction and you made me aware. See, you see that? You see the phrases? It's all about understanding. And then then I laugh internally. Oh my goodness, that is good. That is what, the process of evolution takes place. How are you, Jerry?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, after Thursday's session, we did a lot of contemplating and reflection on, relating it to the communication issues that were going on, and the repetitive patterns, and just trying to identify, where those patterns come from, because that is important. If we don't take the time to reflect and identify where the patterns repeat and where they come from, the delusion or the ego or the attachment or, maybe several things. And so I think that that's helpful. And the isness of a situation lets you kind of separate right away that this isn't me, this is, and then we move forward. So
Beautiful, beautiful, Jerry. And I appreciate both of you that you both are open to contemplation and reflection. That is the first step to drop that ego. And then the second step is to just find out the expression the ego had. Third point is that how that expression hurt emotion, attitude, behavior, and intent. You see the third point. And fourth point, let's go, let it go. Finished. Let it go. Why we are fighting? Why we are reacting? Why? And then hug each other. Fine. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. I'm fine, and I've been in peace during the last 2 days. Not much was happening outside. I'm just working, practicing, contemplating, observing my mind. If I see anything comes up in the mind, even a trace of anxiety, then I'm just able to immediately notice it, and it just dissolves immediately. So it's been very quiet and peaceful today.
Beautiful. Now you combine both the events together. I'm saying Janice, country, war is going on, drones are going on, one. And then I have a big ego, what I should do. I'm going to die. Keep aside ego, let me survive first. You see, this is what the master is talking about, crocodile of delusion. I think you got it. If I related, I'm going to die. Oh, keep aside everything. We will tackle the matter later. Let me survive first. Let me continue to exist first. There, the ego is defeated. How are you, Samir?
Sir, one thing I've been noticing that nothing in my mind can survive without my support. If I'm not supporting anything, it will not survive in my mind. If I am supporting delusion, it will survive. If I start looking at my delusion, it will start dissolving. And whatever ego, thoughts, and anxieties, they
Beautiful.
need me, they need my energy, they need my support to live in my mind. And when I stop supporting them, they start dying. They start dying in my mind.
Yes, yes. I got your message. That is beautiful. You see that? So it means I'm into anxiety. Who is supporting this inside? Drop it. Anxiety is gone. Reaction. I continue to react, I continue to. No, who is supporting? I. What is this I? False I. The false I always supports anxiety, delusion, conflict, and long list, long list. You understand all that. Beautiful. That is another way. Now you see all the three reflection can be added together. Can be added together. I told you, there is a pain in the body, so let it go. You feel so too far. The pain is too far from you. Same with anxiety is too far from you. Yes, Terry is there, so we'll take that experience. So let us pay attention. Let us pay attention. One master used to say every time he begins the session, now are you vigilant and aware? In America, we say, are you excited? No, I will never say that. Are you excited? So pay attention to it. It is so simple, and still we forget it. Just paying attention does not mean that you should be very serious, very casual. I want to know. First thought. So let us follow in a thought process, and I will follow because I'm laying a strong foundation for the next 3 and 4 verses taught by the master. I want to know. Who doesn't want to know? Tell me. Everyone wants to know. Oh, he is your husband? Yes, he's wonderful. She is your wife, beautiful. You see, I want to know. I want to know. This thought appears in every human mind. A child wants to know, a human child. Come, no. We'll talk about that. A child wants to know, why is the sky blue? An adult wants to know, why is my life like this? Old wants to know everything, all the time. We want to know. Is it clear? You wake up in the morning, you wants to know. Satsang is about the first thought, our natural urge to know. Our natural urge to know. The moment you wake up in the morning, ask your mind what happened. Mind wants to know. I'm making so simple because it is common sense, so people skip. And that is where we fall into delusion. So I'm just, there is a gentle voice that says, I want to know, I want complete knowledge. Now I'm adding another adjective. I want complete knowledge. If I have a complete knowledge about you, should I want to know anything more about you? If I have a complete knowledge about myself, is there anything to know? Just very simple. I want complete knowledge, not only bits and pieces, not only information, but a deeper understanding of the life and of myself. The thought is natural. Now, second statement, thought is so natural. Natural for human beings. It's not a religious thought. It is not a thought comes from the cult and dogma and the culture and the religion and the conditioning. I want to know. It's not an Indian thought. It's not an American thought. I want to know. It's a human thought. You go to the restaurant, you eat something. Mind is working behind you with reference to, I want to know. What I want to know? I like this, this food so tastes so good. How can I keep this pleasure? I want to know. You have insight. So we continue to sit in a restaurant, we extend our period, we give, we spend the time in the same table for long so that my pleasure continues. But that is another part, but I'm making it simple. Thought number one, I want to know. Okay. I'm making it very simple again. We humans are funny creature. It's very simple. We all want to know. We are born with a natural urge to understand life, ourselves, and the world. Yet we rarely pause to see what we are actually chasing. We keep learning, collecting information like the spiritual hoarders, but still feel something is missing, something's still missing. I have read, I have understood all the sessions, and still I'm missing something. It means I want to know. It is not a complete knowledge. Now, what the conclusion of this? I want to know. Do you still want to know? Yes. So I live in ignorance. That is thought number two. How simple it is. We don't appreciate it. My ego takes over. Ego takes over. Then you have a fight. Then you have a problem. Honey, I want to know myself that why I get hurt what you say. So I'm living in ignorance. I'm see. First thought, I want to know. Second thought, I live in ignorance. Why? Because I want to know. I am making it so simple today. But so simple is so challenging. Second thought is a little uncomfortable, but very beautiful. I have to appreciate that beauty. I want to know because I live in ignorance. Ignorance here does not mean being stupid. It simply means I do not know my real nature. I do not know who I truly am. That is why I get into anxiety. I react to you. You say to me to react. No, you are saying with a different intention, but I get upset. So it means obviously I live in ignorance. So instead of fighting, should I recognize that I live in ignorance? I want to know, first thought. You have to contemplate, reflect. Second thought, because I live in ignorance. You may say, I am a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a husband, I'm a father, but these roles, these are the roles, keep changing. Before being a doctor, you were a student. Before being an engineer, you were a student. Before being married, you were a single. I want to know, and I live in ignorance, living in the dark with the lights on. Here is the catch. There are many sub thoughts, but I'm keeping the main thought. But here I'm using another thought. I know that I am living in ignorance. That will kill your ego. But you live in ignorance and you don't know, you will continue to have anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict. Are you sure about it? Did you understand? Two thoughts. Samir, I don't see your video. Maybe by default. So first thing, I want to know. Second, I live in ignorance. And if I am aware that I live in ignorance, what happened? The third thought. Congratulations. You won the human lottery. What did I say? You won the human lottery. Your dog is living in ignorance, he is not aware that I'm living in ignorance. I pay attention. I'm making so simple today. And all the philosophies, all the principles, all the practices are included in today's session. I want to know first. I live in ignorance second. I am aware that I live in ignorance. Congratulations, you won the human lottery. Why you won the human lottery? Eastern wisdom says there are 8.4 million species. Means what? There are 8.4 million types of bodies of the living beings. Science has yet to find out. Only the human being, human body, has the capacity to know that I'm living in ignorance. I'm repeating again. You have to contemplate and reflect more and more contemplation. You will see, oh, this is so easy. I want to know. I explained you differently. So you have to, I want to know. Second is I live in ignorance. And sub-thought, I am aware that I live in ignorance. Congratulations, you won the human lottery because you are a human being. That is why you are aware of your ignorance. Animals go by food, sex, sleep, and survival. Dog find its way home. Birds migrate across continents. Ants organize the entire cities. But their intellect is confined. Their intellect is confined mainly to the 4 types of food, sex, sleep, and survival. Congratulations, you won the human lottery, but sorry, we are not humans. That is another sub-thought. Why? We spend 99% of our time and effort on the same 4 things. Just with more advanced technology and better furniture. Maybe a latest smartphone. We are doing the same thing. Animals search for the food on the ground. We search for the food by an app. Oh, let me order the food. There's hardly any difference. So I have to be very vigilant when I say congratulations, I won the human lottery. Really? Am I a human being? From there, the journey starts. Who am I? Fourth thought. I want to know. I live in ignorance. I won the human lottery. And now, the fourth thought. Who am I? Most important thing to know. You see the gradual process of evolution. That is what is happening to every human being. You study Eastern wisdom or you don't study. Everyone ultimately has to follow this path. In this birth or in the next birth. Why? Who am I? Without this, my identity keeps changing like costumes in a never-ending drama. I'm a child, I become adult, I'm single, I get married, I divorce, I become old. Constantly changing identity. I am success, I'm a failure, I'm a rich, I'm poor, I'm single, all the identities are changing. We change identities more often than we change our clothes. We have maybe 5, 6, 7, or maybe 10 pairs of the clothes. We have 1,000 identities. And sometimes we change those 1,000 identities during the entire waking hours. Who am I? You see, who am I contains I want to know. Who am I contains I still live in ignorance. You see that? Who am I also contains the third thought. But oh, that is why I'm inquiring. That is why I'm inquiring. Who am I? Well, congratulations, we won the human lottery. So when I focus on that, who am I start the Eastern wisdom. You study from a teacher, you don't study from the teacher, it doesn't matter. You have already started. So you also recognize that you have been changing your identities 1,000 times every day as compared to the clothes. In the morning, you are a professional. At home, you are a parent. With your friends, you are the funny one. When you are alone and worried, you start thinking about your partner. Why the hell he or she said this? You become a stressed person. Which one is truly you? Who am I? There's no real identity. They are labels, roles, conditions, states of the mind. Who am I? Fourth thought. Fifth. That is that is what we are going to learn in our following sessions. Master says you are of the nature of permanent happiness. So the fifth thought, the inner happiness, is not a rule, it is not an app. But problem is, as long as we do not know who we are, there is no possibility of waking up to the inner happiness. Both are related. Who am I? Contains all the previous three thoughts. Fifth thought, inner happiness is not an app. But without knowing who am I, think you have to contemplate and reflect on it. Without knowing who am I, there is no possibility of waking up to the inner happiness. You already heard it many times that we are of the nature of permanent happiness, but we are not. In times, we can have pleasure but lasting happiness. We can have success but not stable fulfillment because everything is built on shifting identity. Today I am successful, tomorrow is the market changes and I become a failure. Couple of years ago, couple of years, I was single, now I get married. Are you getting it? Inner happiness is not an app. Until I know who am I, there is no possibility of waking up to the inner happiness. Inner happiness is not an app you download. It is an awakening to your true nature. That is what I want to say that. So now you see, so now question is, yes, you have already posed the problem. You have presented the 5 thoughts. Now question is where and how to find the Eastern, how to find who am I, how to drop this ignorance. And ignorance causes the suffering. So how to end the suffering? You want to understand the working of the phone, what you do. You go to the mechanic shop and you learn it. You have some sickness, you go to the doctor. You want to know who am I, you have to follow Eastern wisdom. You believe the doctor. Huh? David, here are the 3 pills you have to take every week every day for the 2 weeks, and then come for a follow-up. You say, yes, I will do that. You don't say, does this pill contain a poison? You never say it. Why you challenge? You have not learned anything of the Eastern wisdom and you start challenging. Oh, it's ritual, it's religion, it's all this. That is the problem of the human mind. Inner peace is inner happiness is not an app, but it is an awakening. But how to awaken myself? Follow the Eastern wisdom. That is the one. There is no there may be other systems, but they will take you to a religious and cult and dogma and belief. What is the message of the master? So simple and so easy. By these 5 thoughts, I recognize, I have an understanding that my normal I, capital I or false I, is unstable. I just, reacted to my honey, and now I'm happy taking a cup of coffee, and then I'm excited to have $5,000 today. What is this I? I is excited, I drinking coffee, I is upset. So I learned that this I is unstable. So if I maintain awareness of this unstable I and let's go, let it go. 1 point. That is your purification of the mind. 2nd point, every time I get concerned and anxious and react to the 4 animal instincts, food, sex, security, and sleep. I know the guy who said, I'm more rich, that is why I'm scared. I'm living in a Phoenix area. Come on. So distribute your riches. To remain an average rich. So you should not be scared, but the problem is deeper. Problem is with the animal mind. I stick to it. I'm attached to it. So I have to learn the attachment. I have to learn this attachment. I want to know. I live in ignorance. Congratulations. I won the human lottery. But congratulations, I won the human lottery. Who am I? What should I do? I should learn the Eastern wisdom. So that urge, who am I, also has a desire to exist indefinitely. If you ask, hey Michael, do you want to die? He will start firing me. Maybe he will throw me out. Why you don't die? You have so much of suffering. We all have an urge to exist. Look at our masters, the way they discovered and they wrote these teachings. Even who has multiple heart attack lying in the hospital wants to exist. What to talk of us? That urge is natural. Desire to know is sacred. It is very natural to all. We didn't learn. Did you learn in the beginning that I want to know? No. It's natural. Always there. And it will continue until I know myself fully. And as long as I do not know, I will live in delusion. I want to know is not a random curiosity. It's not a random curiosity. I want to know. It's a doorway to journey of self-discovery. I want to know is the door of self-discovery. Oh, you are already rich. You have a wonderful, beautiful partner, and you have a good house and a car. So now what happens? Delusion takes over. I have already everything. And the next day, your partner says, hell with you. Everything is finished. I want to know. So ours comes back again. What the hell I should do? Come on. I want to know. Do you see that? The stock market falls. Finished. I think, I don't remember his name. Casey has a good friend, who invests in stock market. No, he also attended a couple of my programs. So he perceived everything as if it is a stock market. And then he left. So it's a problem. I want to know. So I want to know that basic urge, not learned from anyone. It is a basic urge. It's a natural urge, diluted, veiled. Why? I already gave you an example. This urge I want to know is sacred. It is not a curiosity. So the deepest question is, who am I? What do I get next? Who am I? Who am I? That continues to haunt us. Let me give you a simple example. Your ego is fully inflated, and then you go to a meeting, and there someone doesn't say hello, and you get insulted just by one thing. You see, I want to know, I live in ignorance. Both combined together, and then you have won a human lottery because you become aware that you did not respect me, then I get insulted. The entire journey of Eastern wisdom is, who am I? The deepest question. Yesterday I was nobody, now I am the CEO. From a spiritual standpoint, both are costumes. Whether I say I was nobody or whether I say today that I am CEO. From the Eastern. That is why we have to learn the Eastern wisdom. Eastern wisdom says when you say yourself that you are crazy, when you say that you are happy because you just bought a wonderful house, both are same. Both are costumes. You are behind that. You are behind that. So you have a thought, you inserted me in your mind, attitude. So when your mind says, oh, let him insert me little more, you hurt your ego. So you are removing it. You have to say it inside. Don't say it outside. So if people are already living in ignorance, they will say, oh, you have given me an opportunity. Eastern wisdom, that is why we say it is a science of self-discovery. Teacher, so Eastern wisdom clarifies the goal of this wisdom is not to give more concepts. You have to be very clear about it. We are not here to give you more concepts, but to remove all the false concepts. Because you have already borrowed, heavily conditioned by these concepts that I'm a husband, I'm rich, I'm good, I'm bad, I got insulted, I reacted, and I did this. All these are different concepts. Because we want to remove these concepts, so we have the concepts in Eastern wisdom. And once all the concepts are gone, what you are remains. That is known as Sat Chitanand. We are studying from this teacher what exactly is Sat Chitanand. We have studied Sat and Chit in the previous 2 or 3 sessions. Ananda means inner happiness, permanent happiness, infinite happiness. I want to know one phrase and take the third one. Congratulations, we won a human lottery. So yes, I want to know who I am. Yes. And then I study the Eastern wisdom. Ultimately, I find that I am happiness. Then why should I search happy? Why should I search happiness outside? There is no way. So we all are seekers of happiness. So ultimately, 2 goals are clear. One goal is to bring an end to the suffering. Second goal is to discover, awaken to inner happiness. Couple of masters have little differences. What is the difference? One group of the masters says once you find the permanent state of the happiness, the suffering will come to an end. Other group says no. The more you recognize this causes the suffering, it will come to an end, and then the permanent happiness. When you study Patanjali Yoga, when you study Tantra Yoga, when you study Hatha Yoga, when you study Kundalini Yoga, they said, let us bring an end to the suffering. Their focus is more on bringing an end to the suffering. Other group, the masters, say both should go together. Who am I? Both. So once I recognize that who am I, so who am I? How to recognize? Can I recognize who? Can I understand who am I with reference to the body and the body of an elephant? No, at the mental level. They have an animal mind, we have a human mind. So there the journey starts. There the journey, real journey starts. Am I using the human mind? Am I aware that I'm in ignorance? Am I aware that I lived in ignorance the moment I have the anxiety, duality, conflict, I reacted, I changed costumes every day, 100 of times? Am I aware of that? That is the meaning I'm aware behind the breath. I should become aware. I should delete every day the common statements: I'm anxious, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm married, I'm divorced, and a long list. Why we keep manufacturing these labels? I want to know. Why I have a false eye? Because, because of the happiness. Why I go to the restaurant? Because of the seeking happiness. Sat Chit Anand. We are going to study what is Ananda. Ananda means the permanent happiness, infinite happiness. That is why our masters, you see that now, once it means once we understand that Eastern wisdom aims at self-discovery, then we have different schools of thought. One is Buddhist, one is Patanjali, other is purely knowledge path, third is the emotional integration, which we say Bhakti Yoga, fourth is the different types of the karma we should be performing. There are 6 or 7 in Eastern wisdom, and you can add one more, Shinto in Japanese, and 2 systems in Chinese, Confucius and Tao, 3, maximum 9 and 10. They ultimately help us to reach what I want to know. Let me reach there. I am of the nature of permanent happiness. Have you not have you not have you not noticed many different I's, capital I, every day? We become in a single day stressed, happy, successful, parent, father, mother, partner. So who am I really? I live in ignorance. I recognize it is an identity crisis. That is why we are suffering. If you remove the identity crisis, finished, problem is gone. First universal thought I want to know. Be very clear. It has nothing to do with religion, culture. It's a human. It's a human. Human won the lottery. Part 1. I want to know. This urge, the many masters say this urge is sacred. Not only human, but it's very sacred, it's very spiritual. Part 2, I live in ignorance. With humility is also sacred. With arrogance, I live in ignorance. It has nothing to do with sacred and spirituality. Third thought, congratulations, I won the human lottery. It brings more humility. Oh, human being. So I have a greater responsibility to know myself. Out of 8.4 million living bodies, different types of bodies, they don't have this urge. This urge, I want to know, that reaches to a final consummation. Who am I? You see? Fourth, I want to know. I live in ignorance. I won the human lottery because now I can become aware that, that awareness tells me that, yes, I live in ignorance. But then what should I find? Thought 4, who am I? Who am I? I'm anxious, I'm successful, I'm failure, I'm rich, poor, etc., etc. Who am I? And thought 5, inner happiness is not an app. Why it is not an app? We install and uninstall any app. Why? Inner happiness, that inner happiness, and I want to know are closely related, because I want to continue to exist. And if I find who am I know that there is a continuity of the existence. I'm not the body, mind, breath. If I'm the body, then I have a role of a husband, wife, good, rich, poor. If I'm not the body, all these roles are gone. Inner happiness. Inner happiness. What seeker? There is a seeker. We discover that is what happens. Ultimately, we find existing. I continue to exist. Sat and Chit, we have already understood in the previous session. If you don't remember, you have to listen to it again. And then the third one, the Ananda, the permanent happiness. This master says, no, you are. We are permanent happiness. We are permanent happiness. Ananda. Normally roughly translated as a bliss, not excitement, not pleasure, but it is limitless, unchanging fullness. I am. Last couple of thoughts. Did any of you wake up this morning and think, I hope I stop existing today? No, there isn't natural urge. No. Even we have a fear of the death. Mind actually is saying, I am not meant to end. No, I want to be. I want to be. May I always exist. To get rid of this fear so that I can continue to exist. Will not it be a stupid question if I ask how many of us wants to live? The urge to exist, to continue. And that contains an element of permanent happiness. Because I don't love, last point that I will take up in the next session. For example, you don't love coffee. Example, for coffee's sake, you love what it does to you. That feeling of warmth, alertness, comfort. You don't love your phone as a plastic and a metal. You love the connection, entertainment, the status it gives you. I know normally in US we have some iPhone. I have an iPhone. So you love the connection, the entertainment, the status it gives you. Eastern wisdom says love for anything else is actually love for the joy of the self. I love you because I love myself. I love the phone because I love myself. This is not selfish. It is an honest observation how this mind works. So we'll discuss in detail. We are of the nature of permanent happiness in our next lesson. Yes, Dennis.
Yes, I think it is an interesting topic. Why do we have a desire to know at all? I've never thought of it this way, probably because we take it for granted that we naturally want to know, and we never question why. It is the fact that all living beings have the desire to know, and something pushes me to learn, to explore all the time, which means that my knowledge is incomplete, because if it was complete, there would be no desire to know more. So something in me knows that my knowledge is incomplete and urges me to complete this knowledge. And now, when I explore the outside world, it seems that I learn something new about the objects or the people, but in fact, I think I learned something new about myself, how I perceive objects, how I perceive the external world. So exploring the world, in fact, when I explore the world, I in fact explore my perception of the world. I learn more about myself, which means that the desire to know more is actually the desire to know myself, to understand who I am. And I think that this desire comes from the real knower, the higher consciousness that provides us both with the capacity to know and the desire to complete the knowledge. And how this knowledge can become full and complete when I fully understand and know who I am, when I accept that I am the real self, then the ignorance vanishes, knowledge becomes complete.
That is the way the Eastern wisdom has started its journey. You see, it has never started with a ritual, blind belief, nothing. They said, oh, this is the way it has to start. You see, another way to look at it is very interesting. Tell me, out of all we are present here, in which area, field you have a complete knowledge? Business, physics, computer? Tell me. You don't have complete knowledge. So you can never have a complete knowledge in the objective field. Just say, you have to accept this. So why you are running after the objective knowledge? Find out who am I, which is nearest to you. You see the logic of our masters. They say, what the hell you're doing, going and running after? You're running after one marriage, second marriage, third marriage, and you continue to marry, divorce. There is no chance. Physics, there is no end. Chemistry, no end. You cannot have a complete knowledge of anything. Any field, any area. Except one, who am I? Only the Eastern wisdom guides you. Look at the declaration, look at the conviction. So when we have that conviction, the life changes. How are you, Dennis or David and Jerry?
Yeah, very good lesson. It's we are looking for knowledge in all the wrong places. We're looking for knowledge in the temporary, our knowledge to help our career, knowledge to help our health, knowledge to help our living, whatever. It's all outside. But when we really understand the operating system beneath all that is our true self, and if we just focus and strip all the apps away and strip all the other and just get right down to the operating system, we'll just have peace, happiness, and we'll just blossom in all areas. So the knowledge seeking is being focused in the wrong places.
Yes.
It would be way more powerful if the knowledge seeking was within the operating system itself.
Beautiful. Yes. And once we start searching in the operating system, we find we are not this operating system, we transcend them. And that is what is known as we transcend the mind, enter into the mindfulness or emptiness or nothingness or awakening or nirvana, etc., etc. There are different words used for different expressions. You can even teach this lesson to the students, Jerry. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I do. I try to share all this knowledge that it comes from you. So thank you. And it's interesting because we do see the repetitive pattern. We see what we think we know. We look for what we don't know. And when we realize that we're this ever-changing existence, consciousness, bliss, ananda, then we no longer have any fears or concerns about what we know or don't know. So all of that is literally gone. We're not concerned about it anymore. What will be, and what won't, and what is. And this place, it just becomes so much simpler and free of
Yes,
any pain or
yes.
suffering.
Yeah, we settle into that permanent happiness. My master, obviously it is written in the Eastern Wisdom text, and obviously you talked about, you use the word fear. There is always a fear of the unknown. There is hardly any fear of the known. Well, I can tackle the fear of the known. Do you see that? So the fear is always there. The ultimate reason is I don't know. I live in ignorance. Do you see that point? That is the beauty. And on the fear part, a couple of masters have explained beautifully in different texts. They are not together, but they are scattered. So, yes, how are you, Samir?
Sir, one thing I have been noticing that all human beings, everyone
Yeah,
is hunting for happiness.
yeah,
The basic goal of, if you are drinking alcohol, you are
happy,
drinking for happiness. If whatever you are doing, if you are after money for happiness, if you
happiness.
are any power or post, that is because you think that when I will reach there, I will get happiness.
I'll get happiness.
And when you start entering into, or means getting the knowledge of Eastern wisdom, then total perception of your mind starts changing. And
Yeah,
it is like that, that my permanent state is anxiety, and some flashes of peace come in a day or two. And when start entering into Eastern wisdom, then the perception changes that my permanent state is peace, and
good.
some flashes of anxiety come because of my ignorance. Some
Beautiful.
flashes of anxiety come in my mind because of my ignorance. So that is the total perception of my thinking, whatever the way I live, it starts changing. But when I was in anxiety, when I am in peace, when I got birth, now I'm 50, when I was 10, when I was 30, only goal was happiness. Means to reach to the true happiness, whether in this birth or next birth or whatever. When I will reach there, that I don't know that. But this is the main goal of the human birth, I think so.
Yes, you are perfectly right. You all shared the wisdom beautifully based on the state of your mind. So, fact is that we all are seekers of happiness. Very good. Now, where is the ignorance false here? Ignorance, I don't know that I am happiness. So if I find out that I am of the nature of happiness, fear is gone. I bring an end to the suffering. But that is the journey we are undertaking beautifully. You all shared the wisdom beautifully. How are you, Terry? Where is your happiness?
Hello.
You don't know?
I was thinking that eh, is it the nature of intelligence
Yeah,
to want to know.
yes.
So that's a natural. I enjoyed the lesson today, even though I couldn't follow it logically, but
Okay.
it didn't seem to matter. It just
It doesn't seem to matter.
yeah.
That is why the master says listening and learning, external satsang, internal. I have to repeat it. Now you see the last point I'm saying with reference to the Terry says, even if I don't understand, it means what? I don't know. So let me know it. What is the process of let me know it? Listen, repeat listening. Repeat listening is a prescription medicine in the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Now question comes, you want to repeat listening by the audio and your mind is distracted. So you check. Congratulations, you have a human birth. Oh, today my mind was distracted. So let me repeat it tomorrow. My mind is still distracted. Let me repeat it tomorrow until your mind returns to it again. And that's what I've been doing it for the last 46 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's so natural to, now it becomes so natural to me. But you have to check it. So there, every step of the journey begins. So my mind is too much distracted. So let us first remove that distraction, that wandering nature of the mind. And then you listen to it again. So you give a break, you take you take a ramp, exit, you become a seeker, you return again, you listen and learn again, contemplate and reflect, focus on only one thing, who am I? And ultimately you realize that I am happiness. Once you realize I am happiness, all the costumes means all the other roles, identity crisis is gone, fear is gone, anxiety is gone, and you live into that awakened state. And people have created unnecessary mess, mysticism and spirituality and many other words. It has nothing to do with it. Our masters are very clear. I'm not saying that this is my philosophy, all coming from the teachings of this learning from the Eastern wisdom. No master is saying that, you bow down to me. You bow down because you do namaste because you should change your mind. So it has less to do with the ritual, more to do with an understanding. Mentally, you say namaste, it will work. Hmm? Samir knows that in India we used to touch the feet of the master. Last point, then I will let you go. After 10 years of constantly touching the feet of my master, one day he said, you stop touching the feet. Because I started feeling at the mental level. No need. But to set an example, we continue to follow it as a physical step. Physical steps are not required. Anyhow, that's all very wonderful sharing of your wisdom. We will meet again. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.